Hello, and welcome to Improbable Things. I'm J. Grace Pennington, and this is my podcast where I share 6 improbable thoughts before breakfast, which consists of 6 thoughts about reading, writing, or storytelling in some form or fashion. So I am ready to get started this morning, even though I'm feeling pretty tired, but I'm committed to getting this out to y'all, so let's get started. So before I start, I will say, if anyone was wondering, I did miss last week, and that was because one of my kids was sick, throughout the middle of the week, and was really needing me frequently, and was actually waking me up a lot in the early morning hours. And so for one thing, I was just too tired to get up early in addition to that and do something else. But also I was just thought that I was probably just going to be interrupted while recording because she was needing me a lot. So I just went ahead and skipped that week, but I'm here now. And also my husband has been catching up on the old issues of my podcast and has pointed out a couple of weird mistakes that I made, or I said the wrong thing or whatever. So that may just be the result of getting up so early to do these, but hopefully y'all will bear with me, and if I make a mistake, hopefully you'll understand whatever it was that I meant to say. But anyway, ready to get started with my official 6 things. So number 1, within those couple of weeks that I haven't been recording here, I finished the revisions on No Man, which was the 6th book in my series, and that was the last big revision that I had to do, the last major one rather. And so that was a big accomplishment, and the fact that I got through those 6 in 3 months like I had planned, it was a lot of work, but I was really proud that I stuck with it and did that and got it done. And I'm still having to run over Etheria. I'm not doing a big edit on it because I just wrote it a year ago or just released it less than a year ago. But I do need to still change references to some of the characters' ages, and I just figured, it can't hurt anyway to just give it another look and see, because it's easy to miss things and make mistakes. So I'm going over that one real quick, and then I also have to give Humanoid, the book that's releasing the 20th of this month, just a quick once over so that I can get it released. So still busy on revisions on this series, but the light at the end of the tunnel is definitely visible, and the first couple have already been re-released with their new editions. So I'm just really excited to be done with this project. So number 2, I released a couple of novellas also, and I think I may have mentioned on here the fact that I was going to do that. I can't actually remember what I've said about this, but I have 2 novellas actually releasing now. So first I'm going to just talk a little bit again about how to read novellas, because I've had several people ask me about this, and then I'm going to share about the actual novellas that I'm releasing right now. So Kindle novella, you don't need any kind of special subscription. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't need any kind of special app or device. It's just you just read them, the episodes, on your Kindle app, online, wherever you normally would read a Kindle book is where you can read Kindle Vella episodes. And the first 3 are always free, and then the rest you buy tokens and pay for the episodes with those tokens. And basically it's 1 token per every 100 words. So if the episode's 600 words, you're paying 6 tokens, and etc. And you also get 200 tokens free when you first, when you first, I don't know what the word is, because like I said, just whenever you start using Kindle Vella, you can get 200 tokens for free to start out with. So anytime you're interested in any of the stuff that I or anyone else have on there, you can always really easily check out the first 3 episodes for free if you want, because like I said, you don't have to subscribe or pay anything extra or do anything special. So just wanted to explain that a little bit. So combined with that, I thought I would talk about this. I have one Vela out currently that's releasing episodes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That is a self-help, in the self-help category, and it's one that I've talked about before. I know, because I've been kind of percolating the idea for a while, and it's called How to Do It All. Although I do explain in there that, it depends on how you interpret that, because obviously you can't actually do everything, but just kind of along the lines of really accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish in your life. And, things like time management and prioritizing. I'm just going over all the ways that I have managed in the past year or two to really transform the way I use my time and how I think about my goals, and how it is that I can have all these little kids and still do my writing, enjoy my hobbies, to care for my home and do things like make bread, whatever, things that I really want to do, things that are important to me, that it can be really hard to find the time for and fit into a day. And so I'm just kind of going over a lot of the ways that I have learned to do those things. So that's called How to Do It All, and that is on Vela now. So number 3, the other Vela that I'm currently releasing, is poetry, and is releasing new episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it's called Depressed Dreamer, because that is a valid description of me. And it is, so yeah, I basically just release a bunch of poetry a couple times a week. And it's been great because I used to write so much poetry, and it was a huge way for me to process through things that I was thinking and feeling. And then for several years, I haven't written any. Like, I don't even know, maybe I have written 1 or 2 pieces since my kids were born. Maybe not even. Like, I can't specifically remember if I've even done any like the past 5 years. So I've been wanting to get back into it for a while, and I thought this would be a good way to kind of force myself to get that ball rolling, because an episode has to be at least 600 words. So that means if I'm going to commit to this, I have to write 600 words of poetry twice a week to get it scheduled up there. So it's been really good. Like, I've been doing it for a couple weeks now, and I'm really enjoying getting back into that. I'm not going to say it's all the greatest poetry I've written, and it varies widely in both what I'm writing about, but also the style. I do a lot of free verse poetry, but I'm also making sure to challenge myself to do some, more rhyming metered stuff, which I really haven't done in an even longer time. So that's been great. So if you like poetry at all, you can check out a few of those episodes. I also put up one of my favorite poems that I wrote years ago as episode 3, so you can see that one if you're interested. But anyway, yeah, Depressed Dreamer on Vela, if you're interested in reading some poetry. Number 4, I've talked many times about us going to the library and enjoying that, but we found out pretty recently that the local library that we usually go to is going to be closing for renovations for at least a year. I've heard some people say 2 years. I'm not sure. Well, we only heard this right before they closed. So I noticed the last time we went that a lot of their books had been cleared out, like maybe more than half. So now I was very weird at the time, but now it makes sense because I know they're moving them to other locations and things like that. But it's kind of sad because that location is less than 5 minutes from us, which has been really nice. However, there are other, the library system in our town has 4 libraries. And so while that was the closest one, there are 3 more, and none of them are that far. A couple of them, one of them I'm actually not really sure where it is, but the other 2 are just about 10 minutes, in 2 different directions from us. And we had never visited them before. So last time we went to the library, we did go to one of them, and it was nice. Like, it also was kind of good that, again, these are not far from us, and I've intended for a while to check out these other libraries, and yet we just had never done it. So it forced us to go try one of them, and then this week we're going to try to make time, maybe this morning or maybe in some other day, I don't know, but whenever we can, we're going to try to go to the the other one that's about 10 minutes away from us that we've never visited. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see what kind of revisions they're doing that are going to just take that long. And whenever it opens up again, we'll have to just revisit it and see what's going on over there. So number 5 on my currently reading, I have read a lot in the past couple weeks since I last recorded, because I read a lot and I feel like I'm reading faster lately even than I have been. But I just started my next book club book, and it is called Remarkably Bright Creatures. And we'll see. I read a couple chapters. Chapters are short, which I always like. And I'm just not sure about it. It sounds very strange to me, but it's popular and it has very good reviews. And one of my friends at our book club has read it and really liked it. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be good, but it's basically about an old woman that works as a janitor at an aquarium and befriends a curmudgeonly old octopus in the aquarium, and he solves the mystery of her missing son, I guess. I don't understand. It's and so far, so the first chapter that I read is from the octopus's point of view, and then the second chapter is from the woman's point of view, and it's very well written and engaging so far, but it's just such a unique premise. So I'm curious how it's going to play out. But again, lots of people really love it, so I'm very curious, let's just say. And I'll also be curious, as always with the book club books, to hear what people have to say when it comes to the discussion. But also, because it's so popular, I like to read real paper books as much as possible, because I just like it way better. But it was not going to be possible for me to get it. I tried multiple libraries and I was way behind in line when I placed holds. I think in one library I was 7th on the list. It was just not going to happen. So I had to go ahead. I could get the ebook for free on Hoopla, so I went ahead and just did that, and which means I'll have to be reading it on my phone, which is not my favorite, but I'll still get the story ingested, so it's fine. But yeah, so that also tells you that there's a lot of people reading this book right now, so we'll see how it goes. So number 6, one thing that I have been doing a lot of lately as I just get closer to having my baby, because I am 32 weeks now, so there's less than, in theory, less than or close to a couple of months left. And I've just been getting very tired, just lots of fatigue and lots of different kinds of needs. I have to take naps. I have to sit down, put my feet up more, stuff like that. And so I've been needing to start taking things off of my plate and just changing the way I'm prioritizing things. And that's really hard for me, because I do really value productivity, probably a lot higher than I should, as I believe I've talked about before. And it can be really hard for me to let things go. And especially, I've built up these routines and goals and things like that. And to have to just be flexible in the way that I change that as my needs and the needs of my family change is a real challenge for me. But I definitely became aware over the past few weeks that it was time, because I just can no longer get through the afternoon without a nap. So that's going to steal time from something. And if I do try to push through without a nap or try to take on too much, then my mood also really suffers, which is not good for my family. So just for a lot of reasons, and plus my husband really, he could see the toll it's taking on me to try to do too much, and really has wanted me to not do that. So it's been important for me, because I also have learned so much this past year and changed how I do things and prioritize things, and have been able to be so much more consistent in my work and in my goals than I have been in the past. That makes it even harder, I think, to let some of it go. But one thing I've had to remember is that this was always part of the plan. I've always known as I've built up doing more business things and, different types of goals, I've always known that this is going to have to change and fluctuate because my family changes and life fluctuates and needs change and things do not stay, in stasis. Things are always needing adjustment. And that's okay. That's not bad. Like there's a time now where I'm having to do less, and there's going to be a time in the future where my kids are a lot older that I'm going to be able to do a lot more. And all of that is fine. It's just going through different seasons. And so I always knew that as I get super pregnant, and especially after the baby comes, I'm going to have to do less of the things that I've been doing. But one thing that I'm really having to remind myself is that there is a huge difference between just letting things slide and intentionally letting things go. Because letting things slide is a huge reason that I have not been as successful at consistency with a lot of these things in the past when it comes to writing, marketing, housework. There's a lot of these things I've really grown in. It would just be like, one day I am tired and don't do it, and then a couple days later I don't, and it just gradually kind of like just slides away. And I lose progress and momentum and things like that. And I have to remind myself that this is not that. This is an intentional choice to change what my intentions are and what I'm hoping to accomplish. And so rather than kind of being like, well, I don't feel like this, so it's kind of going to gradually fade away, I'm sitting down looking at what I'm doing right now and saying, how am I going to change this so that it works better for us? And then, making those changes for this season. So like, for example, I'm cutting back on a lot of the marketing and promotion stuff that I'm doing, which again was really hard because a lot of it I've worked hard on and built stuff up. And I know that, it'll come a time that I'll want to pick some of it back up again, and I'll have to, I'll have lost some progress probably. But again, that is just how it goes. Like that's the nature of the beast, especially with having a family, things change. And so I've chosen, like I had to sit down and say, okay, which things are the most effective? So which things do I need to keep doing and which things do I really just need to let go for a while? And so things like blogging, social media, stuff like that has just not proven for me to be as, I'm sure it's still helpful, and I